Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. Take a deep breath. Okay, this is a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read I have in front of you, and it stems a lot from where I left off on the last read. So, I'm going to read the last line of the last read. It was stemming from the 244th birthday for the July 4th coming up tomorrow. The High Priestess grounding and integrating an offer of love in Cancer, the mother lode of all love. He, the big papa of all truth. How far at 3, 2, 1 shall I jump, right? Or how far are you going to jump because someone tells you to? Jumping bean, bean counter, counteract, and then sag union, performance of your life. The Bat Cave in the center here with the Page of Cups, their heart cracking wide open, their heart to the wounded warrior in the E-Tower, in the 3 days between death on July 1st, 2020, and rebirth on July 4th to 5th, 244th birthday, which equals 10, and then destined July 4th, 2020, to be devilish and explosive, as on 7/6/2020, the stars align, and then I was getting Aquarius, when the moon is in the 7th house, all right? So 7/6, the 3 days I'm getting are 4, 5, and 6. And having to do with the age of Aquarius was very interesting, because last night I was watching Magenta, Patricia, and Laura talk, and somewhere near the end of the video they brought up what the exact day that Aquarius starts. And so, of course, then I went into looking some stuff up to see if any information would get triggered. And because it was definitely paralleling with my July 6, 2020 stars align, right? So when the moon's in the 7th house, and Jupiter aligns with Mars. So the stars align on 7/6/2020. So what I did, where do I start here? So So I looked up the planetary alignment for July 6, 2020, since that's where I ended. And there's a lot around that number, because it's also referencing the 7/6 of the original birthday of the United States in 1776. The 76 being the Knight of Pentacles. The 76 being the 8 of Pentacles, but the reflection of that is 67 is the Knight of Pentacles. So the 76 is the 8 of Pentacles, which is the one I always say where you're aligning with your true desires, the working on the detail, the creativity, aligning with your desires. So the 8 of Pentacles is alignment, and that's referencing 76. So, and also 7/6/2020 equals 17, then referencing again July 4th, 1776. So the first thing that came up when I looked up planetary alignment for 7/6/2020, the first entry that came up was from 5deathproject.com, or 5deearthproject.com. This was the first entry, and it said the event 2020 major celestial alignment 5D Earth Project on 10/29/2019, which just happens to be my son's birthday. Pleiadian light forces transmission channeled by Michael Love, that was this site, to the starseeds of Earth. The prelude was before receiving critical Akashic download about major celestial alignment, which will signal long-awaited time of complete liberation of Earth and grand ascension. Pluto and Jupiter conjunct, from February 20th through 12/17/2020. The full energy will hit the Earth on 11/11 UTC on 11/11/2020. So the central sun, the intelligent source energy in 12D, located in the galactic core at the center of the Milky Way galaxy in Sagittarius constellation, show heightened activity due to cyclical mass ejections in the black hole at the galactic core. The gamma plasma light blasts, and I'm paraphrasing, it's not word for word, with the Schumann measuring between 40 and 100 hertz range. The state of consciousness, or bliss or superhuman abilities, resonates at 40 to 100. The lower of the 5D heaven begins, the lower border of 5D heaven begins at the 40 hertz and the upper ends exactly at 100. The great central sun transits cosmic rays to the central sun, 5D, for storage and to use this in the local cosmos, the energy waves that we've been getting, the intergalactic repository for all light information of the universe. Certain Stargate alignments allow more of the 5D central sun to come through, and the Pleiades using 2020 Pluto-Jupiter Stargate to channel more 5D gamma waves coming in. This event is the full energetic climax and will close this great cosmic cycle of this solar system and of humanity. The wave of white magnetic 5D sunlight, spring 2020, with grand solar flash near the end of 2020. Anti-gravity, flight, and multi-dimensional travel will all be coming from the place of 0 point. So that's the Pluto Stargate, during most of the year 2020. And they also reference some other major happenings in our universe. So you can look up that website if you'd like to look more into that. But so also from that site, which states spring of 2020 is the start of the Stargate, to make sure you drink lots of water and plant-based foods and sleep, remove yourself from negative people and things, and spend time alone. And remember, this was from October 29th last year. This is when this was posted. Also do trauma work to clear your trapped negative and toxic emotional energies from the body. Seek knowledge outside the matrix. Ground in nature. Meditate at least 1 hour a day. Sea salt baths and ask for help in Stargate groups. Crystals, use crystals of course, and then love on yourself and ignore the opinions of others. Then the guy who channels this, Michael Love, was just paying tribute to other the connections that he had for the channeling, the Great Wood Brotherhood, the Earth Alliance, White Dragon Society, Pleiadian Council, is it? I can't read the word I wrote there, but the Cobra, the Guardians of Earth, and the Sphere Being Alliance, David Wilcock, Corey Good, and Iseti Ranch. So the second entry that came up for this, and again, this is the 7/6/2020 alignment. And why was that coming up around July 4th? 4th, 5th, and 6th, not just the 4th. Number 2 was coming up a YouTube from Christopher Reeves. Massive planetary alignments, July 2020 from YouTube, 3/11/12. Massive planetary alignment of 7 planets in July 2020 with Mercury, Venus, Earth, Moon, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. And it was very interesting, the YouTube, because there was like a ticker at the bottom of the screen on YouTube, and he's showing the planets as they go around the sun in alignment at this time. And it starts out on 7/6/2020 at 10:37, 37 being the King of Cups and unconditional love. And it goes to September 2nd and at 12:32, and then back to June 5th at 11:24, and then, the 5th at 11:24, then to September 2nd, and then back to 6/29 at 17:35, and then it settles at the end on July 4th, 2020. which is the peak here at 3:01 p.m. But it started on 7/6. So his video started on 7/6/2020 and ended on July 4th, 2020 at 3:01, 10:37 on the 6th and 3:01 p.m. on the 4th. So when the moon is in the 7th house, and this is all coded, so it doesn't have to be literal as to what you'd normally understand. So when the moon is in the 7th house, and remember the moon is Cancer and Cancer relationships, and I'm getting 7th house as referencing July, and the Jupiter aligns with Mars in order to get the rest in line for peace to guide the planets and love to steer the stars. So the 8th entry that came up when I searched 7/6 was the July 4th, 2020, the planetary alignment, also referencing perhaps an earthquake with this all this Capricorn energy. This was from 6/18/17, the July 4th alignment, and this is seasky.org, seasky.org. Listed also 523, the comet Atlas this year, which it came up in one of my reads before. When it came really close to the Earth at 72, which yesterday was 72 million miles away from the Earth, will brighten with a magnitude of +1 to -5, which then would be the second brightest in the sky other than the moon on this date. That was 5/23 in this past May. On July 14th, Jupiter opposition closest to the Earth will also be very illuminated by the sun. So we're going to see, I almost said Jesus there, so Jupiter coming in really close. So that may be a reference to Jesus' energies. And the 5th entry was from astrovalve.com, the planet alignment on 3/7/2020 in New Delhi. It was a picture of the astrological chart for New Delhi on 3/7/2020, which was interesting, at 19:5400. And UTC was 14:24:00, but it listed the longitude and latitude was very interesting. The longitude was 77 degrees, which is the 9 of Pentacles, the sovereign, 12 and then 32, so that's the hangman, 32 is the journey. And by the way, the original birth date of the United States, 1776, July 4th, is 32, the journey, the journeyman. So this was east, and then the latitude was 28 degrees, the twin flames, 36 and 50. So 36 is the 10 of Wands, the Atlas energy, weight of the world upon your shoulders, and the 50 is emotional fulfillment, north. And I always tell you that for me, east and north is feminine energy. So it was very cool that chart just came up on that page for some reason. So let's see. So there's some other stuff I was just looking up, and it took me a long time to go through this because more stuff kept coming up. But then a site from lunarplanet.com, was that? It was titled The 2020 Societal Reset and the Great Transformation 2020 to 2030, a Saturn to Pluto synod 11020 and the 34-year cycle that compounds with Ceres on 12/26/19. So it listed a few other aspects there. And then the start of tribulations on 7/4/20 from YouTube, and his name was Michael. And it's called the start of tribulations for July 4th, 2020. His YouTube name was Triple Grace 555, Triple Grace 555, and his name was Michael. He was an older man. So he was referencing that this July 4th is the starting line of the race. The beginning of the end of times, the breaking of the seals, the 4 seals. That 6/2 and that solar eclipse was the preparations, marking the preparation time. And now July 4th is the actual breaking of the seals. The first seal referencing Venus and Jupiter and the white energy. The second seal, the red energy with war, Mars and Saturn. And then the third seal referencing the black famine, the wine and the oil, and the apostles and the 144,000. And then the fourth seal referencing death with Neptune and Pluto, or death and Hades, the dark planets. And him referencing sun and God and Zion. And that would be the 10th planet, right? Because it's the sun, which is actually a star. So he was referencing that September to November would reference war starting with Israel and Jerusalem, or in that area, the Middle East. This July 4th buck moon, referencing that both Israel and U.S. will be splitting, which we're already seeing that energy of people splitting into two sections of seeing the dark energies for what they are, and then the 3D energies that haven't awakened yet. And of course, he references the sun bringing the holy fire, which of course we all know is the gamma rays coming in from the sun that we've been experiencing now for quite a long time. So on July 4th, the moon is in Capricorn, and that's at 4:48 UTC, and I'm East Coast, so that's 12:48 for the moon in Capricorn on the 4th. So when the moon is in the 7th house, it's in the Capricorn, because the moon is Cancer, and Cancer's 7th house is Capricorn. This is just the downloads I was getting. And also 4-7 is referencing, you know how I always say that 4 to 7 is the sweet spot, because in the numbers 1 through 9, 5 is the middle, but you always want to err to the light or the greater of the middle, just like the acidic and alkaline in the body. You always want to be a little bit more alkaline than acidic to stay in that perfect place. Well, 4 to 7, for me, they always reference as the sweet spot. So here we have 4-7 referencing 7-4 for July 4th. But it also is 4 to 7 is 47, which is the 7 of Cups, the synchronicities, and then the 74, which is the 6 of Pentacles. It's also referencing the nature card in the numerology deck, which is perfect balance. So then we have the 7 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles, which there you go again is the 76 of the birth of the country in 1776, and 76 being the Knight of Pentacles. So we have the moon in Capricorn tomorrow, and then it's, so when the moon is in the 7th house, so when the moon, or the Cancer reference where we are now in Cancer, is in the 7th house, which is Capricorn, and the moon's in Capricorn tomorrow, and Jupiter is with Mars, or in other words, when the 4 seals are broken. So there's other stuff that's going to come up with that. There's 3 days of ascension, 7, 4, 5, and 6, where 4 to 7 is the sweet spot, right? Staying just left of the middle. Then transformation comes up. This is the great transformation. They were guiding me to break down transformation, which is TRA, which Trey just came up in my read yesterday when I referenced Sex and the City. Trey, and then NS, capital N and capital S for me is Christ and Sophia, so it's Christos Sophia. Trey, Christos Sophia, and then trans 4, which is the number 4, and then Mation, which is MA, which is Ma, which references the planet, Gaia, the T of the toggling up, and then the ION, which is ion, its connection. So the Trey, I looked up Trey to see what it meant in Wiktionary, and we had Beach, theory of reasoned action, were some of the acronyms it meant. Tax Reform Act, Teachers Retreat Association. Tanzania was coming up as significant here. Tanzania, Revenue Authority. Gateway was literally what was listed on the header. But also from Wiktionary was catfish, beam. In Albanian it means beam, like a light beam. Thing, 3, the number 3. So again, we're bringing up 3 with the earth and Gaia. Soil and earth, it also means those things. Path, trail, fire break, through, between, among, other, to put in or to fit in, or to investigate, examine, or inspect. Entirely, quite, very, and while. So we had the meaning of Trey and the breakdown of transformation. So the beaming of the Christos Sophia and the 4 of the Emperor, but also of the survival of this planet, because 4 has to do with manifestation of survival, whereas 8 is manifestation of dreams. Of course, that's to do with building and structure and safety and security, all of those root chakra, but also realizing that the heart is the ultimate home, not the root. But you need a strong foundation, and that is the mother, right? The mother is what births you. It's the planet. It's what nourishes you. The T is what you need to toggle up in your feminine energy, and then the ion of the connection of that. So the Trey also would reference to investigate, examine, and inspect, which I was doing all morning in order to fit the pieces together. So to investigate the Christos Sophia and the 4 of the Emperor, the control of your life, not to control others, but to ensure your own safety and stability and your heart, using the Mother, your creative abilities, the Gaia, which is what takes care of us all, and then to toggle up using your feminine energy in your connection. So I was looking back at some of the dates that are leading up to tomorrow. And so we have March 20th, which was Jupiter aligning with Mars. So that's when Jupiter literally aligns with Mars. Well, that was March 20th, 20. That opened the Stargate that they were the first that was talking about is open all year. Now they referenced a date in February. But here I'm having 320 because that's when the moon is in the 7th, when Jupiter aligns with Mars. So Jupiter aligns with Mars, opened the Stargate on 3/20/20. On 5/23, that's when the comet Atlas came in 72 million miles within the Earth, only second brightest to the moon. On 4/25, Pluto went retrograde into Capricorn 24 degrees, and 24 is the end of karma. It's the omega, the last letter of the Greek alphabet. And then on 4/4, Capricorn went direct with Jupiter and Pluto conjunct at 24 degrees. So the 24 here, again, referencing the end of karma and the omega energy, and then the 4/4 of the 44 and the 144,000. So then on 6/30, someone had questioned on Magenta's video, was June 30th the first day of the age of Aquarius, or after that? And then on July 1st, Saturn retrograded into Capricorn, 30 degrees, which was actually in 7/1 to 7/2. It depends on what site you were looking at. So 7/2 is again referenced, 2020. And then on July 4th, the moon goes into Capricorn, and July 5th is the full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn, 13 degrees. And 13 has to do with transformation again. So those were coming up from tarot.com. So tomorrow is the buck moon, and that has to do with the deers getting their new antlers. And the moon's in Capricorn at 4:48 UTC. So 4 to 7 is referencing July 4th, the 4 to 7 sweet spot of 47 of the 7 of Cups, right? The heaven in your eyes and synchronicities, and then the 74 of the 6 of Pentacles, which is that perfect balance of nature, and then the 1776 being the 7 of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles, 76, but also the year that the United States was literally born, 7/4 of 1776, the Knight of Pentacles. And then referencing again the man who talked about U.S. and Israel splitting and the sun bringing fire, which is just the gamma rays coming into the earth. So then again, coming back to when the moon is in the 7th house, and that can reference Libra as well, but I was getting when Cancer is in Capricorn, right? So the moon is in the moon is Cancer, so it's all about the mother energy here, as that's referencing the number 3 in Gaia and the 4 of the Emperor, which is the sun and the father energy, or the Emperor energy. The Cancer is in Capricorn because the moon is in Cancer right now, and the moon goes into Capricorn tomorrow. So that's referencing the 7th house. Then Jupiter aligns with Mars, and now Jupiter is the 5th planet, and Mars is the 4th planet out from the sun. And Jupiter is in Capricorn, but Mars is in Aries. Well, what is Capricorn? Capricorn's the goat, and Mars is the Aries, the ram. So now we have the referencing of the goat and the ram, which I wasn't familiar with because I didn't have religious upbringing, but this was a big deal in the book of Daniel. And it also references the 1st and 2nd seal that Michael on that other YouTube had referenced on 3/20/20. So the goat and the ram. And I was getting too that the Jupiter aligning with Mars, the 1st and 2nd seals referenced there, with action, where action is amplified in a good way, with Capricorn and Aries. But Jupiter being, beneficial, and then Mars being aggressive. Mars is the action, but Jupiter amplifies that in a good way. So having good intentions with action at the same time, or in other words, fireworks. So July 4th, there's lots of good intentions and fireworks, which is the action, which leads the way, and then peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. So we have the reference to the goat and the ram, both with horns, and then the buck with antlers, growing their antlers. And the difference between the goat and ram is the goat can be masculine and feminine, and the ram is only male, and it's a sheep, right? So then the book of Daniel comes up, because Daniel's vision in Daniel 8 was about the goat and the ram. And that's from World Events at thebible.com. World Events at thebible.com. So in Daniel 8, conflict transpires just before the rise of the 10 kings of the earth, the scarlet beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns. This occurs before the tribulation of Satan, the conflict that gives rise to these 10 clay kings. In Iran, he had a vision at the river, which is now the Quran River, which empties into the Euphrates. He saw a ram. This is Daniel. So Daniel saw a ram, one with one horn higher than the other, and the higher one came up last. So referencing that they are in different positions on their head. The ram pushed west, north, and south, so no one could stand before him, and then he became great. So I'm again paraphrasing. I'm not stating every word, just the ones that need to be said specifically. So the goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground, which they say there was referencing how fast he was going. He was coming in so fast with such passion that his feet didn't touch the ground. And the goat coming in from the west on the face of the whole earth is referencing the earth power at the time, which is now the U.S. So, and had a notable horn between his eyes, which is referencing the third eye and referencing Trump's leadership. Because initially it referenced Greece and Alexander, their king, and then having war with Iran and then back again. So it was also referencing how long it takes to go through this period. It doesn't happen in an instant. So the goat ran into the ram in the fury of his power, broke 2 horns and no power in ram to stand before him, cast him and stamped on him, and none could save him from the goat, okay? Whereas before the ram, nobody could come against the ram, but now the goat has. So Daniel 8:8, all right, so that's referencing Lionsgate coming up. The goat waxed very great, and when strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. So here we have the 44 again. So again, originally this book was talking about Greece and the Persian War that took over 12 years, that these kind of things take time to change. The 4 winds of heaven is the moment when the 4 winds let loose and sealing of our fathers is complete, but does not mark the start of the tribulation. It's not until the deadly wound. The 4 kingdoms are not going to arise from the U.S., although essentially they are the global power. The rulers of the darkness of this world, or the 6th kingdom, or in other words, the shadow side of the human and the dark night, who are the children of Satan. So a gap in time between the fall of Iran and the fall of the global powers. This fall will cause global restructuring, which will be the fulfillment of the 6th kingdom. This is not the deadly wound. The 4 winds is in the point in time, and that can reference 0 point as well, when the goat's horn is broken, or in other words, breaking through the crown, which gives rise to the 10 clay kings, the new global structure. So the 6th kingdom rules from behind a curtain, though, by manipulating its leaders to their own agenda, right? It's not about our government being the 6th kingdom. It's about the Illuminati and all that kind of energy behind with their own agenda, ruling them like puppets, involved with the government system, the education system, and the religions. So after the war or political conflict with Iran, global structure, which suffers from many created illnesses, and this was stated before anything about the COVID came up, government and politicians will be blamed. The 6 using the break of the horn led by the U.S., or the global structure, to bring forward their 6th kingdom of the 10 clay kings takeover. So then it references in another piece from en.m.wikipedia. It wasn't in that first one, but in Wikipedia it also brings up the little horn, or in other words, the holy ones, the angels, that grows in power in the south and the east and toward the beautiful land. And back then it referenced the Torah and Israel, but now U.S. and the third eye. And of course the twins and the starseeds. So the ram was the Middle East, is the Middle East this time, and the goat's referencing the U.S. So the July 4th to the 7th sweet spot of the 4 to 5 to 6 Rainbow Bridge, the 4D bridge, completed around the world. The little horns, or the angels, tell Daniel in his message that there's 23 evenings and mornings of 1150 days. And there was some discrepancy on how many days that actually was, because there was 1150 days in one part, there's 1290 in another, and 1335 in another, in 1212 in the book of Daniel. But it ultimately comes up to either around 3 to 3.5 years that this lasts, or in total 7, which has to do with all the way through Reconstruction. And then Daniel was told, so go your way and rest. Duration of the desecration of the temple, about 3 years, and then the rededication of the temple and restoration ends up being around 7 years. So they were referencing some timelines around this. Also, referencing 4 and 7, 4 out of 7 is just above the middle, right? Because 3.5 is half of 7. So 4 out of 7 is also just left of the middle. The days they reference, 2300. 23 is the King of Wands, with a lot of source backing it up, the Man of Passion. And then we get into the read, but I was also getting at one at the time, 1, 2, 3, which is the 1 of the Magician, and the 23 of the King of Wands again. It's also 1, 2, 3 jump, which has been perpetually coming up from yesterday and today. And I was saying again, if someone tells you to jump, how far are you going to jump? Because they say so. And Billy Goat was coming up with that. So we have the goat and the ram, the Billy Goat at 1, 2, 3 jump. So are you going to jump because someone else tells you so, or are you going to listen to your own intuition? All right, so I know that was a mouthful, but it needed to come up because it's not just about July 4th tomorrow. There's a very significant gateway here from the 4th to the 5th to the 6th. That it's like the 4th and the 5th are the fireworks display, and then the 6th is like the gate opening for Aquarius. So there could be some discrepancies with that, but that was just some of the messages that I was getting. And again, compounding the importance of the 4 to 7 sweet spot. Okay? And then the 7-6. So we have the 4 to 7 sweet spot, and then 76 is the year that U.S. was born, plus the 76 keeps coming up in the reference to 4 to 7, and then 7-6. So all 3 days are very important right here. So anything that comes up in the next 3 days, the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Also, I just told you the other day that there were certain dates in this month that were important coming up. It was the 3rd, the 4th, the 14th, and the 31st. That was coming from my read, just downloads. I think that was that. Let me see. I think it was just those 4 dates. I don't know if the 6 came up at that point or not. I'll have to look back. Yeah, I'll have to look back and see that for sure. But either way. All right, so it's already 34, which is the 8 of Wands. A lot of information back and forth. So I start this read at 140. The SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt at 127 to 28, which is the Magician, and then the Ace and 2 of Wands. So that new passion of the fireworks going off, and then the 2 of Wands of choosing that new path and the twin flames. So the SIRIAN Starseed deck cut and dealt at that time, and then it was finished at 144 to 45, which is the Magician, and then the 44 of the 4 of Cups and 5 of Cups. The grounding and integrating and mastering of the receiving of love, and then the 45 of the grieving, allowing yourself to also go through the grieving period. There's a function of that. And to love yourself through all of it. and that your body has to go through some of that. It's the way the body works. So the major arcana here, we had Starseed and Hanging Man. Before the read, Karma also came up, and then we had 2 wands, 2 pentacles, 2 cups, and 3 swords. We had, as far as court cards in the read, the Page of Cups again. It was the center card yesterday. It was the center card again today. Both days it was upright. The Page of Cups in this deck is literally a child with their heart blasting open wide. So that was for the Divine Masculine in the center, both reads yesterday and today. We also had the 9 of Pentacles, which is the Sovereign in the read, the Knight of Swords, and then before the read, the Queen of Cups came up, and after the read, the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles. The numbers in the code line were all about adventure today, and we had double 2s, double 4s, and double 10s. So again, referencing tomorrow's the 244th birthday. So literally we had the 2 and the 44 in the read. The 1010 references a very high vibration. The 22 of the Fool, of course, with the open heart, which can reference that Page of Cups as well. And then the 44, which came up already, about the mastering, grounding, and integrating of receiving of love. We also had the 4, 5, 6 sequence came up, which I just said. The next 3 days are important. And then 8, 9, 10 begin again and again and again and again. The code line was all about adventure. The numbers were 25 and 10, adding up to 35, which is the Wounded Warrior, the 9 of Wands. The 25 is the Knight of Wands, and 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. And the other numbers were 2223, which is the Fool and the King of Wands, or the High Priestess, the Fool, and the Empress. Then 22, 44, and 10, 10. And then 24 came up, which is the Queen of Wands. The sequence 4, 5, 6. The number 68, which is the Page of Pentacles. And then 8, 9, 10 begin again. The 410, which is the 0 of Source Embodiment, backing up the 41 of the Ace of Cups, which is love. And then 67, the Knight of Pentacles. And the 78, the 10 of Pentacles, that dream family at the end of the Tarot. So this code line being all about adventure. And the 10 of Swords was coming up as the challenge in this read. So the adventure of going through ending the pain. The Twin Flames, the High Priestess, and the Hierophant see the key in ending pain and bridging the night of the human saint, or in other words, 0 point. Toggling up when the temperature rises, Sophia is the feminine energy, in order to expand or use that Knight of Wands energy and see the key at the Y in the road. The 10 of Swords, the end of great pain and betrayal, in the night of reset at 0 point street. Okay, so that was coming up as tomorrow through the 6th. Some of the stuff that came up online when I put the header in was Adepts of the 5 Elements, which was coming up from sanctusgermanus.net, which has to do with Saint Germain. And it was a book written 76 pages. It was a New Age book written in 1934 by David Anrias, and it was about the past and future problems. Again, Adepts of the 5 Elements. Man's physical body being of earth, water, air, and fire, and ether, interpenetrating them all. So the ether interpenetrates all of the other elements. So that was coming up from that website. And then 2 headers came up from Exodus 23:4. And that had to do with, if you meet your enemy's ox or donkey wandering away, you shall surely return it to him. If you see the donkey of one who hates you lying helpless under its load, you shall refrain from leaving it to him. You shall surely release it with him. Don't pervert, and then this I'm all paraphrasing now. Don't pervert the justice, keep far from false charge, and don't kill the innocent or righteous, for I will not acquit the guilty. So no bribes, no oppression of a stranger, like, don't judge a stranger, don't oppress them or make them feel left out or not welcome. You shall sow your land for 6 years and gather its yield, and the 7th year you shall rest and lie fallow, and feed the needy during that time, and then the animals with the leftovers. Same thing with your vineyards and your olive grove. So 6 days work, but 7th you must rest for the reset. So they're referencing this July 4th, this 3 days, as a reset period Don't mention any of the other gods' names, like not to be spoken from the mouth. And then 3 times per year to celebrate feast to me with unleavened bread 7 days. The second one was the feast of the harvest, the first fruits of your labor from the field. And then the third one would be the feast of ingathering at the end of the year, when you gather the fruits of your labor from the field when you're finished. So 3 times a year, all males shall appear before the Lord God. So that was coming up from Exodus 23:4. And then Secret Teachings of All Ages came up from sacred-texts.com. That was at 214, Valentine's Day. 214, the High Priestess and the 14 of the Temperance card. The Theory and Practice of Alchemy, Part 2. And this was just the beginning of the prayer here. O holy and hallowed Trinity, thou undivided and triple unity, cause me to sink into the abyss of thy limitless eternal fire, for only in that fire can the mortal nature of man be changed into humble dust, while the new body of the salt union lies in the light, out of the dust and ashes, changing into pure spiritual body of rainbow colors. How do you like that? And that was, I don't know if I had the date on that one. That wasn't the present one either. That was a German type scripture there from sacred-text.com. So if you want to check that out, again, the heading was Secret Teachings of All Ages. And then another header came up about O3 on YouTube. And then from brainly.com, a seer who calls the eagle sighting an omen of Odysseus' return. And that had to do with regarding our family footprints and to make sure you buy local produce as opposed to, eating canned vegetables and stuff like that, to toss them all out. Another header came up, a full text of Francis King, The Secret Rituals of the OTO. That was from 1973 and from archives.org. And this next one was also from archives.org. Full text of A Dictionary of Urdu, or URDU, Classical Hindi and English, from archive.org. So that's what came up online. So we start this, then it was 2:22 right here at the break. So remember to take a break to drink. This is what I'm reminding you. 22, and then it went to 23 again, which is that King of Wands. So we start this read here with the 6 here, the 6 of Wands, the journey, which again is the original date of the U.S. birth, 7/4/1776 equals 32. And that's the card we're starting off with today, the Journeyman. Beneath that card is Karma reversed, 2 of Cups reversed, 4 of Cups upright, and then the Queen of Cups reversed. So journey on, good news, success and attention leading the way, after deliberating, swallowing their pride, holding back an announcement, or choking on their own words, in disconnect, not eye to eye or face to face, grounding and integrating the receiving of love, boredom, and God's grace, which they were referencing boredom as God's grace, right? Allowing you time to ground and integrate. And the Queen of Cups reversed, sad, under the weather, or in a Cancer mood, as we're in the Cancer time period right now. Moving unstable, visiting or ending a marriage or unstable home, suddenly shocked, surprised, or an event, epiphany, or destabilized by perhaps sexual energy or an orgasm, from twin or crown blown wide open to innocent love. Leaving home and work for lover, imprisoned, suddenly on journey with kids and or twin. Moving home and work, or with issues or third party at work, sudden lover, fond memories of being trapped together. Satisfied with disconnect, with the Knight of Pentacles offering help, money, and opportunity, despite the Divine Masculine not seeing eye to eye or face to face. How high will they jump? Healing and forgiving, and hanging a shingle over being dumped or being purged, or purging and overwhelm. Hanging a shingle or a business over that kind of energy, being dumped on, or having the rug pulled from beneath you and the wool pulled over your eye. Force feeding you and making you cry. Tough love, where push to your emotional limits meets healing and forgiveness. Where the shit hits the fan, the Holy Grail is pushed down to allow him to feed her. Plant his seed, cause her to grow, and thus him as well at 239, which is the High Priestess and the Knight of Cups. Source hand in emptying the contents to refill with the Holy Communion, the feeding of the soul, the communication from the heart and soul, the Christ consciousness, the unity of the gold, and the truth and purity of the white light, the light of my life and the home of the brave. When her heart is filled with his heart, when she pours herself on me and heals his broken heart after he rises to play the part. Getting over loss, regret, past self, and the Hierophant reversed and the Death reversed, the Empress reversed, clinging bulls, never-ending story of divorce or breaking contracts, spirituality, being outside the box, or the fall of a religious leader or other, and the Empress reversed that followed his lead. And so what does that remind you of that's in the news right now? Okay, so Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. The lady, this was definitely bringing up their dynamic. The lady on Yahoo News, I think it was. I wrote that down. Yeah, on Yahoo News, it referenced her as his lady of the house, his business partner, his fixer, his manager, and his social lifeline. He was born 12/25/1961, she was born on Christmas, 1961, which is the year I was born. And her life lesson was 54, which is the Page of Swords. And Jeffrey Epstein was born January 20th, 1953, which is Capricorn. So they were both Capricorns. And his birthday adds up to 39, which is the Knight of Cups. When reversed, is that one who kisses up to people to manipulate them, right? To make everyone think you love them so that they'll love you back and give you what you want, which is what he did in essence. So, the numbers aren't negative or positive. It has to do with which you express within that number. So 39 can be very positive, a person being love with everyone, literally, and being genuine. But it also can be the negative of that, just like 54, as the Page of Swords, can be spreading the word in the news in a good way, and yet the opposite would be gossip and lies and, really mean words and things like that. So it all has to do with your intention, how you express yourself. So they were definitely coming up here and referencing perhaps to some of the divine masculines in what's going on around them in their lives. It is safe to love, and beneath that was this could be the one. The Dark High Priestess, again referencing Ghislaine Maxwell, the Dark High Priestess reversed with a secret out, weak, or Leo reversed, or ego reversed, which is ego death, or no longer tackling the boar, no more palm trees or pulling teeth. Under arrest, trying to escape through the glass ceiling with caterpillar friend that never had a chance to become a butterfly. Awakened to sexual abuse, examining young women against their free will. Second in command, a willing participant, now dumped on, two happy glamping together. Secret is out or needing to use their intuition, weak or ego death and needing courage. A big ego or awakening now, dumped on, purging, overwhelmed, while the Nine of Cups stands alone, satisfied, with the 5D sexual relationship, imprisoned and dumped on. Attention for arrogant, powerful female going down. Getting attention for love gone wrong, a need to find happiness with self, where the heart is home, not groin, and abuse of others. The Hermit reversed and the High Priestess reversed, a crazy genius hermit and their sidekick, passion, and partner in crime. Dumped on, purging, overwhelmed, no peace, only depression and loss of hope and arrogance, and the Queen of Cups upright, loving, intuitive, and kind. So big transformation was coming up here, and the time here was 312 to 13, 13 again being the transformation of the Empress and also the Mother Earth, and the 12 of the one hung out to dry. Fireworks are prepared now, a great burden, hard work to carry the weight of the world, lighting the Olympic torch of indebtedness to society, overwork, underwork, scams, debt, and just not sharing or helping each other, or the inequity of the world. unfair of those not playing nicely at 314, which is then Pi Day. 314 is the Empress and the 14 of the Temperance card, the angels, a higher love. A lot of pressure this year for July 4th to be right. And again, Pi Day is coming up here. I finally got a piece of the pie. So the Jeffersons was coming up here in reference to the United States, right? The land of the home, the land of the free and the home of the brave, right? Finally got a piece of the pie on Pi Day, 314. Lots of purging and crying for those lights taken too soon, those with no peace of mind and depressed without hope. Get ready, get set, blast off as flames are ignited, tenfold as others are sighted at the buck full moon, as deer in the headlights see man on the run, while those in plum tights and orange strands that flip out, and I was definitely getting Trump with his hair, trying to make everyone happy, but it's not working out. Choosing a path and running with it, no more overworking it. Holy Moses, talk to the hand. I'm splitting the seas to cross the bridge into unity consciousness, not just one perspective. Giving it up to journey on, dumping the Empress reversed and satisfied alone with domestic harmony and coming out about secret passion at 323, which is the Empress and the King of Wands, and then take a break to drink. In the recent past is the Four of Pentacles, the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, in disconnect with the messenger of truth, rushing in about imbalance, indebtedness, and not sharing or scamming others. Slowing down or in the downturn of the King of Pentacles upright and the Page of Wands upright, inspired by boredom, apathy, or grounding and integrating and receiving of love, or wants a date with one who's depressed and may refuse him. The Queen of Wands comes up here reversed, choosing a new path of negativity and gossip, spying and spouting off, or social media, with or of the Hierophant reversed and Taurus reversed. The fall of the patriarchy or dark leaders, divorce or breaks in contracts with the King of Cups, or being more spiritual as the King of Cups, which is unconditional love and mastering emotions. A loving man a disconnect, receiving the truth quickly about the inequity or debt owed, or calling in a loan or a favor from Taurus reversed or leader who fell, or Libra King of Pentacles inspired, or Page of Wands child of the Queen of Wands reversed, offering a little love, or to cheer up those depressed, the Queen of Wands reversed after ignoring or not talking. The foundation here is the twin flames upright, or a choice of path, of no conflict or ending the battle or losing the fight, to be present to the gift of the moment. Emotionally fulfilled even when amongst uncomfortable energies, not allowing it to affect you by staying at 0 point and being present. The central energy again is the Page of Cups upright, the innocent love or love message, cracking their heart open wide to the King of Swords reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, imprisoned or about another's prison or their trap or anxiety issues, and challenged by that Ten of Swords, ending pain or painful ending or the betrayal and recovering from a financial loss or dependency or powerlessness in the never-ending story of COVID-19, being dead tired, weak, death, dark night, and after death, end or transition at 3:59, which is the Empress, and the 11th hour, the 59, which is also the Five of Swords, can be considered the enemy. So choosing path and standing in truth, needing courage at 340, which is the Empress and the Page of Cups. The Queen of Swords reversed is really hurt, or lying to self, or lashing out, or verbally abusive, or bitchy, or going through ego death and feeling utterly powerless, or with kids who are draining their finances. The Emperor reversed is out of control, abusing power, taking from others, and then celebrating with a group, or feeling a prisoner of ego death, trapped in prison, anxiety ridden, or literally in a prison. The Emperor reversed is connected to the King of Swords reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or each with their own lawyer. The Emperor reversed with the Queen of Swords reversed as a lawyer, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed with the King of Swords reversed as a lawyer. The King of Wands reversed without affection of group, trying to wake up the Emperor reversed now refusing to stay quiet about what has been done. The Page of Pentacles reversed, choosing to no longer hurt each other, holding back production or show until strong enough to go on, for the show to go on. Standing up to those emotionally manipulating him in front of the kids, or taking his affections to make others jealous or hurt them on purpose without his permission. Losing patience or fallen angel, recovering in uncomfortable energies, in the state of emergency or just general brokenness, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, taken down by the truth without love, which is very excruciating, or by narcissistic behavior, getting pleasure putting others down, or just adamantly standing in their position, defensive but not aggressive. And now for the masculine in the crowning position is the Starseed reversed, lacking faith, blocking downloads, and healing, the King of Wands reversed. Hierophant, Taurus, marriage, religion, or establishment, or societal norms, jealous, insincere, moody, and refusing to love, the King of Wands reversed. Hierophant or Taurus is upright here with the Knight of Cups reversed and the King of Wands reversed. Rising above the Knight of Cups reversed, jealousies or manipulations of love for their own agenda, or Taurus jealous and angry, or Knight of Cups reversed and the King of Wands reversed are married to each other. Bound by contract unhappily, perhaps for work, the wounded warrior telling his troubles to one who's lying to him, or a child who can't keep a secret or is spreading gossip around. The wounded warrior with negative self-talk, in awakening or with a big head. The magician reversed is insecure and manipulative, ending pain, a painful ending and or betrayal. At work, to align while bored of being told what to do and where to go, standing up for himself to justice or a judge or divorce or Libra, insisting on 2 spoons of healthy fruit, that the sweet woman who's actually offering the 2 spoons of fruit is very passive aggressive and not sweet at all. She pushes and pushes and pushes until she gets her way. This is how she breaks you. It may be sweet and calm, but it is certainly not not aggressive. Standing up to break patterns and dump emotional attachments to drama, this is the masculine, and jealous rage. Sagittarius reversed or fallen angel, insecure and manipulative, in a business-only relationship, uncomfortable, cracking the whip with the kids. So somebody, won't discipline the kids at 4:04, so they may be having problems with kids being wild or just not doing what they're told. Or it can be vice versa, because it can be either really lax or too strict. It can go either way. So at 4:05, which is the Emperor and then the Hierophant, or the Messenger of Truth, is harsh with kids watching. And that could be anything online or TV. So soon as the 8 of Swords, anxiety, trap, or prison. The Page of Cups, innocent love, is knowing and keeping to themselves. Powerless to the exposure, this powerful energy, rays, or kids draining. And the Queen of Cups reversed, receiving the Knight of Wands at night, or full moon, impatient, in need of help, or Sagittarius or Cancer, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, kids, or fallen angel, opportunist. The Magician, Empress, and Strength cards were all reversed in a row here. There could be a Gemini reversed, Virgo reversed, Taurus reversed, Leo reversed, and Sagittarius reversed, where Cancer and Leo are the only ones upright here. Insecure Cancer with impatient Capricorn child, the Empress reversed or Taurus reversed with the Knight of Wands upright and the Queen of Cups reversed, children, and weak or Leo with new child, or new child will be born in Leo. He sees himself as the 5 of Cups reversed and over it, whether it's over himself, over the why in the road, the past, any kind of grief, loss, or regrets. There's new passion, and now he's moving on. The world complete, or sealed divine feminine, in energetic exchange with the truth presented to his presentation of his wand. Sword to wands, pinky swears, or blood oath. Happy with self, getting wish with justice, divorce, or Libra holding on until the Knight of Pentacles comes forward. Chemistry, past life relationship, express your love, and free yourself. Don't fence her in. And that was a unicorn, but it looked a lot like a goat. So the goat was coming up again, and the Capricorn energy, referencing the goat and the ram battle. So around him or house scene is the Nine of Pentacles reversed, powerless, dependent, or loss of power, money, and independence, or a large purchase by a single person. The Queen of Wands reversed, King of Cups are broken, or the Cancer Moon. It could be, the King of Cups could be, the King of Cups could be broken, or he may have a Cancer Moon or rising in his chart. But it's Queen of Wands reversed, the King of Cups was upright. With the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or legacy, spending their money on her, or the King of Cups is holding back an announcement until peace away from the state of emergency, or the breakdown or brokenness. It's like just waiting till the worst is over. Or someone may have canceled a move or travel, or the Queen of Wands is dependent on him, and the King of Cups is broke. He offering passion to truther, yet he's offering his time, money, and energy to the Queen of Wands reversed, spending all his money on, or each with one child. The Divine Masculine looks like he's in a better position, and the Queen of Wands reversed with family or business perhaps went under, or family is supporting her until things are looking up. The block here for the Masculine is the Knight of Swords and the 5D messages. Dumping a load, a burden, or responsibilities, or confessing to being impatient, fallen angel, and an opportunist, or to a child who's in need of help. Adventure comes up here, but even more so for the Masculine was pride, nature, and perseverance. So allow things to happen naturally, go out in nature, let go of your pride, and don't give up. The Ten of Cups is upright, throwing him a bone, so the family could be throwing him a bone, while recovering without an olive branch by himself, no help on their own. The Hanging Man is awake, working out their anger issues, the harsh truth of porn, or what kids watch, or what kids know, uncomfortable and broken, the Queen of Pentacles reversed at war, and not taking any shit. Awake and detoxing to go on journey, the King of Swords reversed, fool, purging and crying, in the dumps, overwhelmed, lacking faith, and the harsh truth is that they messed up or fell off the wagon, and that was at 425, which is the Emperor and the Knight of Wands. The King of Pentacles is upright here at the end with the Akashic Records, dumping their burdens or confessing to see the light, coming out of the dungeon or cave to implement a plan at the E Tower, which is the Divine Feminine's heart, holding back to magnetize or save money, or backpedaling to create momentum to recover them both into each other's folds and strategize together. The Hermit's reversed and the High Priestess is reversed, together home healing, and that can be some twins coming together to finish their healing together. Six of Wands leading the way as the twin flames are over it, tired of being sovereign and alone, the Divine Masculine's heart cracking wide open and challenged by ending pain of betrayal, prison, and anxiety, and their hands tied, with 5D message and having blocked a big download due to an ego, now awakening to the King of Swords reversed and the King of Pentacles upright, parts of himself, digging his way out to the E Tower, or the Divine Feminine's heart. Good news in the Divine Masculine's heart, overworked, and the twin flames, Page of Cups opening their heart to the Fool, challenged by pain, over it, prison, and ego. Powerless to the 5D messages, awakening his King of Swords reversed self and King of Pentacles upright self, or they could be two people around him, to come out of the cave dwelling and into the light dwelling at 0 point, the Divine Feminine's heart in the E Tower. Okay, so that was your read, and I'm going to pull some oracle cards for you too now. Let's see what comes up. So anyway, that took me all day because the online stuff was sending me in a bunch of different directions. So I hope you got something out of that. Please let me know below. And of course, if you should want anything from me, all of my information is below. Please comment, like, and share, and subscribe. It really helps my channel. And please share so that as many people can get access to this as possible, because there will be so many triggers for people in a good way to open them up to their own codes and decoding processes, because everybody's a little bit different. So for everybody watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all those concerned, and fill that empty space with beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so from the energy deck, what was the purpose of this read? Give us some insight. What is your guidance? What is your guidance? And we have 31, which is what do you value? Make sure in life you know what you value so that when you have a choice to make, you know where you stand, what your truth is. Right? Because we're standing adamantly. Oh, by the way, this is the, I'll show you that in a second. In the read, it very much came up the Knight of, the Five of Swords, standing adamantly in their truth without love. So if you're going to stand so adamantly in your truth and letting others walk away, you know, if they don't like it, then they got to walk away. You better be sure you know what you want. And that's also the 31 of the Five of Wands, which is the pursuit of happiness, but it's also fighting and conflict, expansion, and games. You know, it's the battle. We also have 7th chakra Archangel Uriel, the crown blasting wide open, which also came up in the read, the 41 of the Ace of Cups. Self-love, spiritual love, and new love. And then we have caring connections, the 14 of the angels, being patient and balanced, allowing things to happen naturally. And then the angel of strength, which is a mixture of the 10 of cups, emotional fulfillment, and the strength card of the lion. Right? This is very powerful for Lionsgate. This is like the 8-8 energy. This one here. And the rest and rejuvenation, to make sure you take that 7th day of rest. 19 is the sun. Right? That's an order from the masculine energy. Make sure you rest on the 7th day when there's no sun out. Okay, and then the bottom of the deck is the blossoming abundance is very much about Gaia and Mother Earth. She's here to nurture you and feed you and take care of you. So we must take care of her too. So it's very much coming up the feminine mother energy of the transformation, Trey, NS, which is the Christo Sophia, the 4 of the Hierophant and the Sun, right? The masculine energy represented by the Sun and the central Sun, the feminine energy by the Earth. And then we have transform Ma, the mother, and the T, and then ION, which is toggling up the connection. So here we have the cards that were presented. The door to value, make sure you know what you want, what makes you happy. Blasting the crown open here, graduation day, and August 8th is graduation day in the spiritual ascension community. It starts from the solstice here, around the June 21st time, and every year so far, I literally got congratulations that you graduate on August 8th. So this is definitely a graduation time for people going through their ascension path and journey, and then coming together in those caring connections, and some will definitely be coming together with their twins, if not a lot. And then we have the angel of strength here, okay, being really strong. The mother, tough love was coming up in the read, and then rest and rejuvenation for the masculine, to make sure you rest up and take care of yourself. So as the feminine comes into her power, the masculine has time to rest. Okay, that was good. Oh, so this is the, you'll see the basic read on the tag, and then I have the, this is the full read here, so I wanted to show this to you as well, so you get the full read. All right, so this is the full read in front of you. And so make sure you drink your water, take care of yourself, make sure you get your rest, your joy, and your nature. And it was just 828, which is the strength again, and the 28. Rise and be loved, you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.